What if I told you that some of the most profound disabilities we know of are actually a key to unlocking a hidden, superhuman kind of potential? Today, we're diving into Savant syndrome, but through this really fascinating lens that reframes it not as a disorder, but as a form of ascended architecture. So let's get right into it. Our source material kicks off with this really powerful idea. Think about it for a second. Most of us, we spend our entire lives looking for the key to unlock our own potential. But what if some people are just born with the lock already blasted wide open? It suggests a completely different way of accessing reality itself. And this lands us right at the core paradox of the savant mind. It's a question that honestly challenges everything we think we know about intelligence. I mean, how can this unbelievable superhuman genius exist in the very same person who also has profound disabilities? The source calls this a sacred anomaly, and I think that's the perfect way to put it. It's an anomaly, yeah, because it just breaks all the rules, but it's sacred because it forces us to look beyond our simple, one-size-fits-all definition of what a mind can actually do. So forget thinking about intelligence as just one single steady river. Our source asks us to picture something more like a delta system. A really complex network of channels where, sure, some paths might be blocked, but others just erupt into this massive cosmic flood of pure ability. This right here captures that contrast perfectly. Look, on one side, you've got the blocked channels. Everyday things, like speech or social skills, that can become incredibly difficult. But then on the other side, you see the cosmic flood, just this torrent of memory, of pattern recognition, and abilities that seem to come from another world entirely. Okay, so this might all sound a bit abstract. Let's make it real. Let's look at some real-world examples that bring this paradox to life in a way that is, frankly, just staggering. First up, we have Kim Peek. You probably know him as the real-life inspiration for the film Rain Man. The source describes his mind as a living, breathing, universal library, and, well, you're about to see exactly why. Just try to wrap your head around this. Kim Peek's brain could read 2 pages of a book at the same time, one with each eye, and he could recall the contents of over 12,000 books from memory. And yet, a simple everyday act like buttoning his own shirt was a monumental struggle. The contrast is just wow. All right, next, let's talk about Stephen Wiltshire, who shows us a totally different but just as astonishing kind of architectural genius. They call him the human camera. So picture this. Stephen takes a short helicopter ride over a massive city like Rome or Tokyo, and then, completely from memory, he can draw the entire cityscape with perfect precision, right down to the number of windows on a building. It's like his mind isn't just seeing the view, it's literally downloading the city as one single gigantic data file. So, the big question is, how? How is any of this possible? Well, modern science has a leading theory that points to something called hemispheric compensation. The basic idea is that when one part of the brain is damaged, another part can overcompensate in a big way. In this case, it's like a gatekeeper in the brain has been broken. So basically, our brain is kind of split into 2 roles. On one side, you have the left hemisphere, which acts like the gatekeeper. It's logical, it handles language, and really importantly, it's constantly filtering and editing reality for us. But then you have the right hemisphere, the architect. This side sees the big picture, recognizes patterns, and stores these huge, holistic memories without judging or filtering them. Now, in many savants, especially those who get their abilities after an injury, that logical gatekeeper of the left hemisphere gets damaged or quieted. That silences its constant filtering, its tyranny, as the source calls it. And for the first time, the architect of the right hemisphere is totally unleashed to work with raw, unfiltered reality. Okay, so that's the scientific take. But the text we're looking at offers a totally different explanation, one that's much, much older and rooted in yogic philosophy and the flow of energy through the body. In yogic philosophy, they talk about siddhis. These are basically superhuman abilities, things like perfect memory or clairvoyance. Now, usually these are seen as something you earn through years of intense spiritual practice. But, and this is the key part, the tradition says they can also be present right from birth. From this perspective, it's not a disorder at all, but an incredible energetic achievement. So, from this point of view, a savant is what's called a janma siddha. someone who is born with these powers already active and unlocked. Their unique state isn't caused by brain damage, but by a very specific flow of prana, which you can think of as the body's fundamental life force energy. So how does this work? Well, the source breaks it down into 3 steps. First, there's a blockage in the normal channels for, say, speech and movement. This stops that life force energy from flowing out. Second, that trapped energy has to go somewhere, so it gets recirculated and forced upwards. And finally, this powerful surge of energy floods and superstimulates the higher energy centers in the brain, which are known as chakras. According to this view, that intense upward flood of energy activates the pineal gland, transforming it into what the source calls a cosmic hard drive. I love that term. It's like having a direct connection, allowing the mind to tap into a universal field of knowledge and access information all at once, instead of bit by bit. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. The source suggests that this architect genius isn't just for savants. It's actually dormant inside all of us, and it offers a simple exercise called the Dragon Trial to get a glimpse of it ourselves. The whole process is designed to quiet down your logical gatekeeper. So you start by taking a complex image and just looking at it for 60 seconds. The trick is you cannot name anything you see. Don't think tree or building or car. Just absorb the raw patterns, the colors, the feelings. Then you close your eyes and try to mentally redraw it in perfect detail. Can you recall not just the objects, but the mood of the pattern? The whole point is to get a little taste of what it's like when your inner architect finally gets to take the wheel. And this leaves us with a final, really powerful question. Maybe savant syndrome isn't an anomaly at all. Maybe it's a clue to the incredible potential that's hidden in every single human mind. We started by saying some are born with the lock already blasted open. So is that same incredible genius hidden inside all of us, just waiting for the right key, or maybe the right accident, to finally set it free?